just do the next thing. That's it. Just do the next thing. And then after you do that next thing, then do the next thing. And then the next thing. And you don't need to think any further or anything else. And that could be literally like go outside for a walk, or it could be go brush your teeth, or go take a shower, or go make some coffee. Whatever that is, then after that task has been completed, do the next thing. And you don't need to even figure what that is out until that next thing has been done.
Mental health champions, I hope the new year has been treating you well. And like every week, I try to bring on amazing guests. And today, she really advocates for an area in mental health that I always advocate for, and that's fitness, that's exercise. She does so much in the holistic, grounded approach to health world where she bridges strength training, mindset, and sustainable life change. So I'm very excited for this, all while she's a mom of two. So, Nicole, thank you so much for joining us here on A Mental Health Break.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
You're very
Very
welcome.
excited.
Yeah, where are you streaming in from?
San Diego.
San Diego. Okay, so you're starting your day here as we're recording 9 o'clock for her, 12 p.m. for me. Thank you for joining us across the country and everyone, wherever you may be. Thank you for tuning in with us today on a mental health break. My name is Vincent A. Lancy, and I'm excited to keep this year going strong as we're celebrating our 6th year anniversary very, very soon this month, right? So we're going to have a special solo episode with me, but we're bringing on Nicole here to help us celebrate this month. And as I mentioned, she does a lot, which I love in the entrepreneurial space, but as far as mental health, I know how much exercise and just being grounded and finding ways to improve my mindset helps. So for you, I want to be able to give you some extra tools in your tool chest. And today we're brought to you by Coming Alive Podcast Production. And you can get your journey started today at comingalivepodcastproduction.com. And now, Nicole, we're going to go back in time a little bit. When did you first realize that your mental health was worth paying attention to?
Oh man, I guess I really was made aware of it in my adulthood when I very first started CrossFit. And that was about 16, 17 years ago. I was trying this new way of training out. It was one of the hardest things I had ever done in my life, which I wasn't new to challenging physical intensity or just that in general. It challenged me in a way that nothing had ever been able to do to that extent. And it was really interesting because I was made very aware of my own conversation in my head when I would get into the middle of these workouts. And it was so loud. And it was really at that point when I started to find that very interesting and was wondering where this was coming from because I didn't experience that necessarily in such a powerful way, I guess, in any other part of my life that where it brought so much awareness to what was going on inside of my head when it got really challenging, really tough, and I was tired, fatigued, maybe super uncomfortable, or my body in different places, fire, and wondering like different questions that I was wrestling with in my head of why am I doing this? Why do I even care? Different thoughts that I was like, whoa, why am I having this mental argument in my head every time I get into a really tough workout? So that really, I would say, probably sparked the curiosity more than anything. And from there, just continuing to bring more awareness to that and figure out ways of overcoming that. And how do I not necessarily ignore that, but find ways to definitely overcome, but kind of conquer that in a way that allows me to grow stronger and choose a different mindset, a different conversation in my head when stuff kind of gets painful or uncomfortable or that type of thing. And that over everything has completely transformed me from the inside out, I would say for sure. Like just mentally and how I approach everything else in life. It all comes from that time of self-discovery and how my mind works and how it can be very powerful and it can be something that is like our ally when we get into tough stuff in our life, and how if we're not um, training it consistently, how it can be the opposite of that.
I love everything you said there. Thank you for sharing. I call that the itty bitty committee in my head, trying to start fights in with me right internally, and you have to find a way to keep moving. And I love how you were able to find something to challenge yourself. Of course, it became this lifelong passion for you, but you said so many great things about those conversations in our head, right? Like everyone, you're not alone, right? Take a deep breath, and we're going to continue to provide tools for you throughout the episode to move past that, combating these tough situations. And I love what you said there, how our mindset can become our ally. And I think that's great. What are some things you started to do when you recognized that this was an issue for you, these thoughts in your head? What were some things you did to move past that, to help out our audience today?
It sounds really cheesy. I was a gymnast growing up, and then I eventually switched over to competitive cheer and then professional cheer. And I decided to take that part of me and use it in the way that I had for others, as far as just cheering for myself. But as funny as it sounds, like I literally would make myself repeat things to myself in those moments. You're doing great. Keep going. You got this. Like that's pretty much it. And I literally, that, of course, in the middle of those workouts. So when I would get uncomfortable, outside of that, I was definitely working on just transforming my entire mindset, outlook on life through what I was reading, what I was listening to, what I was surrounding myself with, because all of that we absorb so much throughout our day, and being more mindful of what I'm allowing into my life and into here. And so that was huge. Affirmations, journaling, all of those things, very powerful. And then, of course, just being very mindful. The other thing is challenging yourself consistently on a daily basis, on a regular basis, even if it's not every single day in that same way. Huge. It's was so powerful in my life.
A million great things there again, where you brought in some tools there, right? You heard journaling, you heard all these things. And while journaling isn't my go-to, I'm a writer. Writing is a therapeutic practice for me, and it continues to evolve that way. And again, challenging yourself to step outside your comfort zone. It is always scary, but it is always worth it on the other side. So that was really cool. I thought how you brought that up as well. And as you kept moving, you kept going. Now you found all of this great passion and evolution that everyone, we're going to bring her on that entrepreneur show to learn more about it. But she did all this while being a mom. So, can you give us some tips for staying mentally healthy in what I can call a beautiful chaos of raising kids and trying to run a business?
Yes. So I guess it's finding the best way to set yourself up for success within the chaos because no day is going to be the same as a mom and as a business owner, entrepreneur. Every day has fun adventures, and it's really about kind of reframing our mindset in how we approach each day. We can look at it as this is a fun adventure that I chose and I'm here, and really embrace it. Or we can be angry and mad and bitter at life, and that just isn't fun for anyone. So, focusing on how do we, it's one thing to say that and to know that, but then to actually live that, it's a completely different thing. And it is just like training your body. You have to find ways to be able to train your mindset as well on a regular basis. And if you're doing that, you're going to show up for yourself, for your family, for your business in such a powerful way with so much more resilience from day to day and from moment to moment.
And I think you're 100% right. Setting ourselves up for success, that will look different for everyone. For me, it's time blocking the day before, right? Before I go to sleep, I have my whiteboard and I plug in what I have and then I fill other things. And that just lowers my stress in turn. And everyone, that will look different. We've heard a lot of great tools today, but I do not want to breeze past all the great work she's doing. She has organically grown this amazing brand, this company. So I'd love to show some love there. You can dive in wherever you feel is best.
Thank you. My business and my business structure is set up in a way that allows me as a mom and a business owner be able to do what I love and what I know I am put here on earth to do. And so being able to live that purpose and help serve others in that way while also being able to be fully present for my family, for my kids. And that is something that didn't obviously happen overnight, but it's something that was very important to me, and I was willing to put in the time and effort to structure it in that way to make that happen. And that all goes back to maintaining and training your mindset to be able to overcome and really rise above any adversity or conflict that we can, rather than look at it as conflict or something that's in your way, it's all an opportunity to grow and figure out new ways of doing things. And so that's really how my business began. I needed a way to support myself as a single mom at the time. And I also wanted to be as fully present as I could for my daughter and give her the very best life that I could. And so that was how it was birthed. And it really has just carried me through so many fun adventures throughout life.
Yes, and she's being very humble. She's done over 130 worldwide workshops. So stick around to the end of the episode if this is something for you. And I also think it's truly amazing, again, how you're recognizing what's important. You're prioritizing yourself, right? Spending time with kids, right? These are things that life can pass us by very quick, but I'm very impressed how you're mindful about maintaining what's important. As I know in entrepreneurship, you could work 24 hours a day, right? You'll always find something to do, but you're able here to find this personal growth. And, you touched on mindset again, and I think it's important how you're emphasizing taking your own advice. Something that I think many can relate to, I certainly can, is giving wonderful advice to our best friends or family members and neglecting to take care of ourselves and fill our own cup. But everyone, I'd love to remind you that we can't possibly be a best friend to someone or fill their cup if we're leaving ourselves on empty all the time. And we've shared a bunch of awesome tools today that will help you get to where you go. And would you agree with me, as I always say, that exercise, it's got as many mental health benefits as physical health?
Yes, I would say almost maybe even more.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it though. And I think it's so important because what are some things mental health wise, right? Say we're having a really hectic, struggling day, but you go ahead and get a workout, and everyone, this could be a walk for some, it could also be CrossFit. What are some mental health benefits you notice after completing the workout?
Oh, I always feel 1,000 times better. It doesn't matter if I was already having a good day or it was the last thing I wanted to do that day for maybe a specific reason, or maybe I just did not feel like working out. The moment I finish that workout, I am in a completely different mindset, completely just much better place. And it really is very powerful. It doesn't matter what the workout looks like, but as long as it's that consistency factor across time and whatever you have for that day, if you're showing up for yourself in that way, it's pretty amazingly powerful how it can transform not just physically, of course, but yeah.
I love what you said there at the end about consistency. Now, everyone, I wanted to highlight it before, and I'll say it again. You do not have to lift weights to get some exercise in. You can take a nice walk. For example, when I get busy with work from traveling, I get out of funk with my routines. I hop in literally and set a 5 minute timer and take a walk outside, and I'll see where I'm going. Then the next day, I'll take a little further, right? And then I'll mix in some weights in a few days. I find myself repeating history as a kid, right? Where I just jump back into a workout that I'm sore and then it's affecting my day. No, I take these small actionable goals in everything in life where I at least try to be mindful to do so, because we can look at even writing a book. oh my gosh, how am I going to get this entire book done? No, let's write for 10 minutes today. Let's do it every day for 7 days. And now at the end of the week, you've got something to be proud of. Same thing can go with fitness. And everyone, I challenge you to get out in the sun. I know winter in certain areas is a little colder than others, but just getting that natural sunlight on your face, all of these things do a great deal. Now, I love to also stay on the parenting thing because I know that, again, in entrepreneurship, there's never enough hours in the day. Do you introduce the idea of being a small business owner? Like, because I know when I was a kid, there was no entrepreneurship talk, right? You had these steady Eddie jobs, which are wonderful and they work for many people. But are you starting to share how old are the kids?
My daughter is 20
Okay.
and
Okay. So not,
and
okay,
then
good.
yeah, and then my son is just he's turning 3 in about 2 weeks.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yes, I grew up, my parents had their own business. That was what I grew up with and saw, and definitely just knew I would own my own business from a very early age. My daughter grew up, she's gone like through pretty much all growing pains and everything th through the entire thing. And yeah, we shall see. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh,
was
so
actually I was a year younger than she is right now when I started my first business. So, and that was a lot of learning right there. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see if it is something that she decides to pursue or not. But yeah.
amazing. Well, I mean, keep up the good work and keep inspiring everyone. We stick around for just a few minutes longer. We're going to get all of her contact information, all of these things. But before I ask for the closing question, which piece of advice would you give to someone struggling today? You've got an awesome book that's kind of a mental health book a little bit, so I don't want to breeze past that. Everyone, it's called Live Fit from the Inside Out, the 6 shifts to living your life strongest, healthiest, and happiness. Let's talk about the book.
Yes, I'm sharing my 6 shifts in throughout this book, and not just what has really kept me moving in the direction that I wanted to go, but my approach to overall fitness and wellness and how I coach my clients. This is a culmination of everything that I have learned personally and implemented professionally within the coaching realm and for the last like 25 years now. And of course, all of this has evolved and I've grown over that time, but the foundation for it has pretty much stayed very consistent across that as far as just its simple daily habits. And so, what my book is, it really hopefully giving people hope and a way out of whatever it is that they feel stuck in. Maybe they are, or just needing a new, fresh mindset around fitness and wellness in general. Maybe around food, maybe it's around just taking action in their own life and responsibility for their own health and really making that a priority. I give the action steps on how to actually implement these 6 shifts into their own life. And that right there, I mean, I probably might not be here today if I had not been making these 6 shifts part of my life. It really is powerful and they are very simple. Simple doesn't mean easy though. It's there for anyone who is ready and willing to make a change in their life. And it doesn't matter if they've been doing fitness their whole life or they've never done or stepped in foot inside a gym before or ever done a workout. It's for everyone and it's wherever you're at.
I love it. Well, part of being a podcast host is making sure you don't put all of the stuff in the front, saving some for the end, the middle. So, everyone, I hope I spread it out beautifully for you today. And now, before I let her go, before I tell you where to find that book, where to find her online, what is one piece of advice you can give someone who is struggling today?
Oh man, one piece of advice. The best advice I ever got was during a season of life when I was feeling so overwhelmed emotionally and mentally that I felt almost paralyzed. And it was from a woman that was much older than me, very wise woman. And she said, whenever I go through seasons like that, someone told her a long time ago, just do the next thing. That's it. Just do the next thing. And then after you do that next thing, then do the next thing. And then the next thing. And you don't need to think any further or anything else. And that could be literally like go outside for a walk, or it could be go brush your teeth, or go take a shower, or go make some coffee. Whatever that is, then after that task has been completed, do the next thing. And you don't need to even figure what that is out until that next thing has been done.
Amazing advice, everyone. We're going back here to taking those small, actionable steps to reduce how we get overwhelmed. Remember, it's a part of life. There are ups and downs, but remember, tough times don't last. You will. And with that, Nicole, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us here today across the country for another episode here on A Mental Health Break. Everyone, remember to subscribe so you don't miss great guests like Nicole. And Nicole, where can we find you online? Where can we find that amazing book?
Yes, my book is on my website, NicoleZapoli.com. It's also on Amazon, and I am on Instagram as well. It's just at Nicole Zapoli.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, everyone. Nicolezapoli. Got it right? Yes. All right.
Yep.
Something I've been trying to do of late, if people share their social, that way, you search thousands of names. So everyone, be sure to connect with today's amazing guest and check us out on all social media platforms and podcast platforms. Please leave a review and share the episode with someone who would find value today. Remember, you are not alone. And with that, we're signing off today. Nicole, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode. I would love to hear your feedback. What did you love? What do you want to see more of? Are there any questions you would like me to ask the guests who come on the show? This show is not possible without you, the amazing listeners, so please email us at podcastsbylancy@gmail.com and let us know what you think. We'll also feature you on a later show. Please remember to subscribe to stay current with our amazing community of guests who will continue to come on the show, sprinkled in with solo episodes from me, Vincent A. Lancy. With that, I look forward to introducing more shows to you each and every week. And with that, we're signing off today. Enjoy the episodes and make it a great day ahead.